Okay, so here we have the home screen, and the name of our group is the Elite Fitness 3.0. And then you can scroll down some more, and it gives you the About Us and what we actually do. You scroll down a little bit more, and you have the pictures of all of our instructors. I am Asia, that's me that's speaking right now, and I was the physical therapist or the personal trainer. Dion was the nutrition specialist, and Jonathan was the motor learner specialist. So that's all for the home page. So if you go to the Meet the Client, that's where you will see our client, which is Miss Tracy, and you have all of the information here. And then you can go to the client questionnaire, and that's just some questions that I had asked her to see what she actually wanted to do. And then we have a copy of a consent form. So if you wanted to, join the class, you would have access to actually get the consent form, and you can sign it and then bring it to, like, a location wherever you are. So then we're going to move on to the nutrition. So here just gives you a little breakdown of, the importance of why you actually need to eat, and how nutrition is 80% of your lifestyle. So when you're changing your diet and you're trying to lose weight, 80% of that comes from what you actually eat. And then if you go back to that bar and hit the nutrition plan, it's going to take you to the page where the actual breakdown of everything is. This was just an example. This is the client, what our client ate for 3 days prior to the actual our actual plan. Here is a week breakdown that you can do, and you can kind of repeat it throughout the month. And then here's just a diary of what all we did for all 4 weeks, and how she actually ate. And then we can go to the fitness page, which I see there's a lot of different stuff on here. But when we go on to the fitness, it tells you, that being fit is important to a healthy lifestyle, and how it accounts for 20% of the weight loss, and the other 80 is accredited to a healthy diet. So then we'll go into the drop down for the pre and the post assessment. So here is where we have the pre-assessment and the post-assessment. What I learned from this is that you have to go with the flow of, the actual client and how they actually move. And I learned a lot about with this project. And previously she did 22 push-ups and 26 sit-ups, and she was not very flexible. But I mean, her body composition between her pre and her post didn't really change, but that's just because we were only doing this for 4 weeks. But she did see an increase in her push-ups and her sit-ups. So that part of it actually went pretty well. So we're going to move on to that 1 day workout, which is, underneath this drop down right here. And for the 1 day workout, I had her doing 20 jumping jacks, 10 mountain climbers, and a 10-minute walk or jog on a treadmill to warm her up. Because it's better to do actual exercises to warm up than it is to stretch before actually working out. Stretching actually does more harm than good. The actual workout, she was supposed to do 15 burpees, 25 crunches with a minute break in between each of those with about 5 sets, 30 sumo squats with 2 minutes rest between each. And she was supposed to repeat those 3 exercises for at least 45 minutes, and then do 10 minutes of suicides for her cardio for, with a break after 5 minutes. Her cool down was another 10-minute walk on the treadmill, and then she was going to stretch for another 10 minutes. So pretty much what I did this was based off of the fit principle and the sport principle. So the fit principle is the frequency, intensity, time, and type. So I, designed her workout to fit her, the meaning that she wanted to work out at least 6 days a week. So I made sure that she had 6 exercises she could do. With her intensity, because she wasn't she was coming from a sedentary lifestyle. I had to give her light to moderate exercises, and I gave it to like 45 minutes to an hour for her time. And the type was just variations of different workouts to really focus on improving her cardio, her flexibility, her muscular and strength and endurance, because they weren't very good pertaining to what we did with the pre-test, which they got some improvement with the post-test. And the sport principle was also used with this, and that involves the specificity, progression, overload, and recovery for the individual. The specificity, the goal is that we were, specifically targeting her want for her weight loss, and that we wanted to focus on exercises that was going to help with the weight loss. And the progression was that over time we would start adding different stuff to make the exercises harder, so that she doesn't just increase and then plateau. Her overload, we didn't use any exercises, so I mean, like, not exercise, like we didn't use any machines other than a treadmill, simply because that would have overloaded her, and she was very sedentary, so it was not going to be good for her to add any extra things other than just working out with like small, like 5 to 10 pound weights. So with the recovery, she has one full day a week, which was on a Sunday, that she was actually going to recover and actually cool down from everything. And the individual is that this was specifically shaped to one person. So if we're going to move on to the actual 1 month workout, that is what it's saying. Like, I'm just telling you that this workout was designed to help improve her overall flexibility and overall strength and everything like that. And then it goes over to the same thing that I was talking about on the 1 day workout that I had set up. It's just the same thing. So then we actually move on to the actual plan, and then here we have the actual workout plan. And this was broken down for the month of March, because that's when we worked out for the whole month of March. And it's an actual calendar on here. So if you wanted to, you could, plug in these things, because this is basically what we used. And we didn't necessarily change it up too much. I just kind of flipped out interchanged the days so that it wasn't too uniform and she was going to get like a full workout, because I mean there was only 6 exercises and 6 days to do so. And then of course she was resting on those Sundays. But what we could have done, or what we actually did, was just increase the reps and added a little bit more weights, and did different sets and stuff each time that we did it. So with like her core, and if we had did like 3 sets of 15 sit-ups, the next week we would do 3 sets of 20. So we would just add different ones. This is just a basic generalization of what actually was going on. So then we have our instructional videos, and these just show you some basic workouts and everything, and these are actually done by Jonathan, and he has them plugged into your YouTube or onto your YouTube account, so that they actually play right on the screen, like so you can actually see that it's playing on the screen, so you don't have to change it, and you can make it a full screen if you like, so that you can actually get the full effect of what's actually going on. And then we move on to our reflections. So on this page, this one is actually my reflection, and we just go through and we're talking about exactly what we all learned. Here's Dion's reflection, and then here is Jonathan's reflection. So pretty much we all learned like a general idea on what actually we needed to learn. We all learned that working on this group project was going to come with a lot of extraness, and we did as a team we did struggle. We did have our own issues as far as working with each other throughout the group, and we did, get at a late start, but in the end we actually ended up coming out on top, and we ended up coming up with a very nice project as you see here. So with that being said, I can go back to the actual nutrition plan and go back into detail about the actual meal plan and how it's actually broken down and why it was designed the way that it was designed. So we'll scroll back up to the actual meal. So with this, our client is allergic to pretty much everything. So it made this actually really, really difficult to make for Dion. But I mean, our client was, very much willing to actually work with it. So we sent her this plan, and then she communicated back with us what she could and could not eat. So with like the dried cranberries, for the sake of it being on the website, that's what we have on here. But what she actually would have done, because she's actually allergic to cranberries, is she just didn't add that. She would change it for something else that she actually can eat. She can, with the pineapple, she can actually eat the pineapples because she's not allergic to it. She may not have had the bananas, but she probably would have, she more than likely substituted it for a different fruit, or that she actually can eat. And it's the same thing with a lot of the other foods here. And she also is a working mother, and she has a spouse, and he doesn't work as often as she does. So another way that she was able to accommodate for all of this is that when the days that he was at home, he was able to kind of cook for her and make sure that everything was okay for her, because he knows what she's allergic to and what she can and cannot eat. And since she's always working, it was just more convenient for him to put this together and do all of this for her, because clearly, as you can see from her 3-day nutrition diary, that she wasn't eating very much. Like, because she was at work from 9 to 6, she would go and have Popeyes, or she would go and get some random burger from somewhere, and it was just very unhealthy. On the bright side is that she did have some water, but, every day she did have some coffee, which is something that she had told us that she did not want to give up, which was why we made this the way that it was. And it goes in, incoherent with the workout plan. And this plan right here is a surefire way to really jumpstart yourself from, going from a sedentary lifestyle to actually being active without overloading yourself to a point that you just feel like you cannot do it anymore. This is a simple workout for anyone going to school, working moms, full-time parents, anybody, even elderly people could actually do these exercises. We could just modify them to actually work well with an elderly person. So that's something that I also learned with this project, is that each exercise can be modified to fit the person that it needs to fit with anything that you need it to do. If they want to gain muscle, you can modify everything to fit that need for them to gain muscle. It's specifically pertaining to what their actual schedule is like, because not everybody is going to have the time to sit down and really go at it to gain weight, to build muscle. And that's the same thing with the nutritional aspect. They can incorporate a lot of different proteins, because protein is what helps build the muscle. So when you're trying to bulk up, they tell you to eat a lot of protein, but you also still have to balance that out with some type of fruit and vegetable, because you can't just have an all meat based diet and think that you're going to get all of your nutrition from there. Protein shakes are okay. You can do that too. You can incorporate that. So like where, she was drinking, coffee and stuff like that, you can put for the snack, instead of having a piece of fruit, you can do like a protein shake. And you can drink that in between your meals throughout the day. So when you have your breakfast, before you go to lunch, you can have, some protein juice or anything like that. And the same thing with like after lunch and like in between dinner, because if you're trying to bulk up, you're going to eat as much as you possibly can. But overall, this project, in my opinion, was a success. We did learn quite a bit of information from this, and I hope that this video is very helpful with you with navigating our website. If you have any questions, you can always shoot us an email or anything like that. And, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for your time.